everybody. This is a reunion special of sorts, as we decided for Nerd Variety. We haven't really been back much. Me and Josh have like once or twice, and Matthew joined us like once or twice.
Yeah, we had a Dragon Con episode and then a What If episode.
Yeah.
I don't know what else we've done since then. I don't think we've done anything else since then.
Yeah, no.
Although I forgot about What If.
In all fairness, my schedule has been crazy. As I think I said before, I'm on my 4th job of the year. So I'm kind of a mess. And
I'm basically working 2 part-time jobs right now.
Yeah, I'm also in grad school, which I just finished my 1st semester of.
Nice.
Yeah, so, and I think I passed. I think
you passed?
I think I passed.
You got a percentage of how sure you passed, or
no?
Are you sure that you're sure that you passed?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Great.
One of my classes is still a bit. It's annoying, because you have to. I don't know if you've been in grad school, but you have to have above an 80% to pass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All of your classes been online, or have you been going into classes?
Well, I go to University of Southern California, so that would be quite a commute.
That would be all online.
No,
okay.
That would be quite a commute.
That commute. That's an easy commute.
From Georgia,
it's fine.
From Georgia to California, it would be a bit of a commute. 3 nights.
Just a hop and skip over.
Yeah.
Think of all the sightseeing you could do.
Yeah, especially since my latest class was ending at 11:30 our time, p.m. And then I had work the next day at 8 a.m.
Fun times.
Nose to the grindstone.
It definitely makes me want to get into a conversation about the ethics of teleportation, though. And can we ever pull that off?
We talked about ethics. One of my classes was ethics. It was, what was it? So I'm doing school counseling, and it was legal and ethical issues in counseling.
Yeah.
I don't think that has anything to do with teleportation, but
I mean, but it's ethics. Although the amount of people,
just because you can, should you?
The amount of people I had in my class that were constantly saying ethnic instead of ethic, it kind of bothered me a lot.
Yeah.
And there were times when someone would say it's an ethnical thing. I'm like, you mean ethical? But in the context, it does almost work.
Yeah. Oops.
But I'm like,
please use your words. Please think before you speak.
Yeah. Even the teacher did it a few times, the professor. So I'm like, you should know better.
I think if the students were saying it that much, I'm sure the teacher slipped up. Maybe the teacher slip up.
But I distinctly remember being when I was doing my student teaching, there was a teacher who was teaching a concept completely wrong, very, very wrong. But I was 20 at the time and did not feel comfortable telling him that he was wrong, so I just continued to let the students learn it the wrong way. It's not my classroom, but
not my job. I'm not getting paid.
Yeah. It was extremely very wrong.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. This is my little ADHD brain going wild over here. Have you guys been watching Hawkeye?
Yes, I just watched the most recent episode last night. Yes.
Nice. There have only been 3 so far, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I said that I forgot about What If, what I mean is I recently logged on to the family TV with my Disney Plus account, and I've been telling my dad, here's all the Marvel series you need to catch up on, and I keep forgetting some because there's been so freaking many.
Mm-hmm.
Over the summer.
There's been
they
5?
released them all this year.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, well, you have to watch WandaVision and The Falcon and Winter Soldier because those were both great. And I was like, oh yeah, also you need to watch Loki. And then, oh yeah, also I never told him, and he needs to watch What If. And then I feel like I'm missing one.
Hawkeye just
came out, and
so is there another one?
5.
No,
it's 5.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah.
I
did the same thing though. I was like, I swear there should be another one, but I'm like, no, it's fine.
I'm just really happy because I'm super behind on the movies, but Patrick, my husband, has let me go and said, you don't need to wait for me to watch them anymore. It's been too long.
That's fine.
Finally go watch them on my own. Because I haven't seen anything since Black Widow. I haven't even seen Black Widow.
I was gonna say, like, they are on Disney Plus now.
Yeah.
So, and I think it's just, well, two of them are. Obviously, Eternals isn't yet.
Yeah. It will be next month on the 12th.
I did see Eternals in theaters, which I thought was really good. I think I fell asleep for part of it.
It's a good movie, but it is long, and it is kind of it's not your typical Marvel movie.
It is pretty different for Marvel.
I'm definitely going to be very critical of Angelina Jolie.
I like Angelina Jolie a lot.
I like her too.
Actually.
But I feel like I actually had this huge conversation with my dad recently about casting, and the thing that Marvel's done, the MCU specifically has done incredibly well, is take actors who like have been in a few things, but like nobody really knows who they are, and make them like household names. The few exceptions would be like Gwyneth Paltrow and
Robert Downey Jr.
No, because Robert Downey Jr. wasn't a household name before Iron
Man. I mean, he had been he kind of had
done some things, but he wasn't
few things. But now everyone knows who he is.
For sure.
Yeah, everyone knows who he is now. Yeah. So I feel like that's something that they've done really well, is take these actors who like not a whole lot of people know about and make them like huge stars. And Angelina Jolie has been doing like big things for a long time. Yeah. So
she's been a very household name for a while.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think she was getting that Marvel check, or she wanted to just say, hey, I would like to play a little bit, and they're like, oh yes, please come on in, you can have whatever you want.
But I mean, like, so has I always forget his name, Kumail. He's the Indian guy. I think he's Indian. I actually don't know. That's probably being very
I don't even know who you're talking about.
No, he's in the Eternals.
Oh, that's why. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think that's his name.
I just don't want to butcher his name.
Yeah, I know, and that's why.
If we're gonna talk about butchering names, we'll also talk about Squid Game later, because I'm so mad.
Yeah. Did you guys watch Squid Game?
I have watched it. Yeah.
I haven't seen it yet, but I don't care about.
Anyway,
Squid Game is good.
We'll talk about that later.
Why?
Because we were talking about something else.
So ADHD brain. Remember, we're gonna do that.
No, you have to order. We will have order.
Fine.
Who plays Nick Fury?
Samuel L. Jackson.
That's what I thought. Okay, yes, he's the other one who like obviously has been doing movies for a really long time and is super famous. But yeah, him and Gwyneth Paltrow were the only two actors I feel like I knew before Marvel.
I mean, I knew Chris Evans before, but I knew Chris Evans from Scott Pilgrim vs. the World and from Fantastic Four, which was that was technically Fox.
It was definitely one of those things where like I went back afterwards. I'm like, wait a second, that's Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Like I knew of the movies, but
it just kind of changed how you see him. Like those roles before Captain America, or like, oh, that's his like, his kind of standoff jerky roles. Now he's like we take him seriously as an actor now. He has that range of like being like he's a just this. I feel like his personality has changed along with the character, since he's been that character.
Yeah, and what my dad and I talked about is this idea of like these defining roles where it's like it almost seems like the actors were made for it, and at a certain point like it becomes hard to differentiate them. So like Robert Downey Jr. in Iron Man, and the other one that we talked about was Johnny Depp as Captain Jack Sparrow. Like nobody else could have done that the way that he did, and he just is Captain Jack Sparrow, and he always will be.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm going back to the big name celebrities. I feel like, and maybe it was just because he was on my radar before, but I feel like Benedict Cumberbatch was a rather large name before Dr.
I feel like
Strange.
he was mostly because of Sherlock, I think.
Mostly because of Sherlock, yeah. If anything else. I mean, he'd obviously done some other stuff too.
Yeah.
Like he was Smaug, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that was Smaug, was that after? I feel like those are like contemporary.
No, that was definitely
they were at the same time.
That was definitely before
2
Doctor
years
Strange,
before.
Oh, okay. 2 years before is like not that much before in my brain. Like it's about the same time. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I will say I feel like in general, I feel like you pay more attention to like actors and movies and stuff. So I'm going to say that the people who you consider to be household names, probably not really household names for everybody else.
It could be.
No. Just going to go out on a limb and say that. But no. I don't know. I never paid a whole lot of attention unless like, I don't know. I've always felt like I just like the movies that I liked and everything that's popular. I don't know. Like, I don't know if I've ever seen an Oscar nominated movie.
So
probably have, but
actually,
I don't know.
Going back a little bit, because we were talking about Eternals and we were talking about household names and stuff. Did you say you haven't seen Eternals yet? No.
I have not seen an MCU movie since before Black Widow.
You still
saw
haven't?
In theaters.
Like you just got the permission?
Yes, yes, just like a few days ago. Yeah.
Okay. So you said you saw it in theaters, Josh.
Yes.
Did you see the other two, Black Widow and Shang-Chi?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I just watched Shang-Chi.
I live 4 minutes from a movie theater, and so I was like, oh, the theater's open now. I'm definitely going to go see some movies.
Yeah. We've still been steering clear from theaters. We're like, oh,
yeah. I've mostly been streaming everything. Again, I went to the theater to see the Eternals, but everything else pretty much. I like Shang-Chi. I waited until Disney Plus. Black Widow. I waited until Disney Plus. Although. Until it was free Disney Plus, not the subscription.
Yeah.
Or you know what I mean.
Well, the extra subscription.
Yeah. The extra subscription. I feel like so I've been keeping up with those, and honestly, we're talking about like Disney Plus shows, and you were saying you keep thinking there's more. One reason I keep thinking there's more is because I'm also accidentally throwing into the mix the Star Wars ones, like the Bad Batch, which I've still only seen like 2 or 3 episodes of.
I don't know what that is.
And Vision,
it's the
which I've only seen 1 episode of.
Yeah, same boat. I was gonna like get into the Bad Batch, but I just kind of fell off the wagon.
I still haven't watched Mandalorian.
I have plans to watch the rest of it as well as Star Wars Visions, but those episodes that I've seen so far are like really good.
Right.
It's you shaming me, Hayden.
Yeah, I am shaving.
No, that's good.
Shaming.
Thank you. Yeah.
I said shading first, and then I said shaving, and now I'm shaming. Yes.
Okay.
Shaming.
I guess I'd prefer shaming to the other two.
Okay. No, yeah, I was again, I watched like the first episode of Visions, and then I keep forgetting about it.
It's anthology, so it doesn't really, you don't have to watch. Like I haven't watched in order. I was like, okay, I don't have time to watch this right now. Watch all these, like this binge watch this whole thing. So I'm just gonna watch like, okay, that one looks cool, that one's cool, and then I'll watch these other 2 later. And
I've been getting back into K-dramas, which are usually like, that is not the type of K-drama I'm usually into, but most K-dramas I feel like I would say the average is like 16 to 20 hour-long episodes, or like hour and 15-minute episodes. So once I get into one of those, I just like, I can't do anything else.
16 to 20 hour-long episodes?
Yes.
Wait.
You watch long-ass shows.
That's a whole season of a show.
I know. It's a full like day of watching.
Like, regular shows are like all these shows that are an hour long, they're actually like 40 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, so that's the thing. They're not
even an hour long.
Yeah, I was talking to Patrick about that. I think maybe, I have no idea if this is true or not, but I think maybe in the States we've decided that like an hour time slot is typical, and so with commercials it becomes 45 minutes. And I wonder if in South Korea they went with hour and a half time slots, and so shows shortened to like an hour 15. No idea if that's true, but that was our theory.
Do you think they have like part 1s and part 2s and part 3s, but they're actually shorter?
No, I'm saying I think that they might be like on TV, like every show is an hour and a half long.
Huh.
And so with commercials, you end up with an hour and 15 minutes of content. I have no clue. Not a clue. But
that is a good question.
Well, hey, speaking of non-US shows, have you been, now I don't have access to it. I don't think, because it's not available on HBO Max yet, but have you been keeping up with Doctor Who Flux?
Nope. I've seen that it's a thing, but to be honest, I haven't watched a whole lot of Doctor Who recently. Ever since Jodie Whittaker became the Doctor, I watched like 1 or 2 seasons with her, I want to say.
I think she only had 2 seasons.
Well, maybe, I don't know. I don't think I watched all of them. I think maybe I
Doctor
just
Who-
watched one
Doctor Who
season.
Flux? What is that?
That's
Yeah.
like the new like mini season thing I think that they're doing for Doctor Who.
I keep seeing it pop up in my subscriptions on YouTube, and then I keep not clicking on it
Yeah,
because
I
I'm
keep
like,
seeing stuff come up there about it.
So
But
they're
also,
like what,
like-
like 15-minute shorts?
I don't
Or,
think so. I think
How-
they're
how long
full
are they?
length episodes.
like
But I'm not really sure.
45
Again,
minutes?
I don't have access to them because they
Oh,
take
okay.
a long time to get on HBO Max. Like I think the last year's special just came to HBO Max, and we just watched it. It was interesting. What's his name came back? Jack Barrowman.
John
Barrowman?
Barrowman. Yeah.
John Barrowman. It's Jack in the show. Is his
Mhm.
name Jack Harkness?
Such a cutie.
Yes. But no, he's fun. It was a good show.
Yeah, no, I haven't. Ever since, like, I think the season that I watched with Jodie Whittaker was just like, I didn't like it really all that much. And like, I didn't like Peter Capaldi at first because he was like very different from Matt Smith, and it took me a little while to adjust, but I eventually came to really enjoy him. But like Jodie Whittaker, I appreciate her as an actress, and I really like her character. But like a lot of the writing, I felt was really kind of subpar, so was not super into that.
Did you just do a British accent at the end of that?
It happens.
When you're talking about Doctor Who, of course, I get it.
No, just
It makes
just
sense.
at random points throughout the day. It just happens.
All right. Well, what else you guys watching? Are you guys playing anything? Any games?
I have been. I'm thrown off guard because I was expecting to talk about Squid Game more, but it's fine. I've been playing this game called Inscription, which I don't know much about yet, but it's like a deck building game, but it's spooky.
Okay.
And
I like deck building games.
Yeah.
Sometimes it depends.
It's a lot of fun. And it seems like there's a lot of hidden lore in it because like you're going through, and I think once you like die at a certain boss, you like leave the game and you are now watching like recordings of this guy who like found a floppy disk in the middle of the woods, and that's where the game came from. And then you just like get thrown back in the game and you're like, what? And so I don't know if there's more lore later on the line, but we'll see. So I'm very curious. I've only played it like a couple hours, I think.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
Well, Josh, what have you been playing?
Josh's been so quiet.
Josh, have you been playing Halo Infinite multiplayer?
I got a chance to play a little bit over Thanksgiving weekend. I was like, I liked it, like the feel of the weapons and the game. It was not the same as Halo 5 for sure. I think they took out all the boost stuff and the ground and pound things we were doing before. But now it's
kind of. They changed it.
Have you played any?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's still
changed.
sprinting. They have, of course, the grappling hook, and they have some armor abilities. I didn't have a long time to see how those worked. I like playing around with the bots, so it give me a feel for the game. I do like, it looks good, it feels good, but I got into multiplayer and I was surely
Destroyed.
Destroyed. Yes, destroyed. That's the proper word for it. Yeah, but I hopefully I can try to get on the Infinite. I hear it's free with Game Pass, but I think
it's free. It's free to play.
It is the whole thing.
Yeah, it's just the multiplayer is free to play.
Yeah, I figured.
For the campaign, you'll have to pay for it. It's probably going to be included in Game Pass, but the multiplayer is free for everyone, even without Game Pass.
Yeah, I'd like to own it if possible, but I don't know. I'm still weighing out my options about buying it or get Game Pass, even though I'm not on there a lot because my my connection is not great, so I had to like download it somewhere if anything. But I am looking forward to seeing the story and seeing what happened between 5 and Infinite and Delta. I think it's not Delta Halo. It's I think it's Zeta Halo. I'm interested to see like how they make that into a sandbox game because it seems like that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm interested to see what it's going to be. And I've never been one for like the Halo campaigns. Usually I would play for multiplayer. I still haven't even technically beaten the campaign for 2 or 3. I know,
but I think I've beaten the campaign for Halo 3.
Where, I mean, you might as well.
Yeah. Now I went back and I eventually played the campaign for Halo 1 after the Master Chief Collection came out.
Yeah,
then I played Halo 4 before that, and then Halo 5 Guardians before that.
But you had 2 Anniversary and 3 on there. Why didn't you play those?
Because I'm stupid. I did play them. I just didn't finish them.
Okay.
And I also played Halo Reach. I think Halo Reach was actually the first Halo story, first campaign that I actually beat.
Yeah, but I was gonna replay all of the campaigns, but again, adulting didn't have time. But I'm still gonna try to crack open Infinite's campaign just to see what kind of story they have going on.
For sure.
Yeah.
I have been kind of jumping all over the place with video games. I don't really have a lot of time to play any one thing. So I get really inconsistent and play everything. I did get around to playing all of Far Cry 6. In fact, I just recently finished it like a couple days ago. I really liked it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's the first Far Cry game that I was really able to get into. It just feels really smooth to me, and I really enjoyed the story. But I really like, I'm sure I'm going to butcher his name, Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, that's pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's great. I thought he did a really good job. I went back and played Far Cry 3, which I feel I didn't finish it though, because they came out with a DLC. If you're familiar with the Far Cry series, Voss, he's like the big. You'd probably be familiar with Voss. You'd probably at least seen him somewhere. Either of you, it's very likely. You probably wouldn't know him by name, but you'd probably recognize him or know something about him. But they gave some DLC for his character in Far Cry 6, so I wanted to kind of be up to date on that. So I played up to the part that basically all of his part, because he dies kind of not at the end. He dies before the end of Far Cry 3.
Spoilers.
Yeah, whatever. It's like a 10-year-old game.
It's like, guess what? In Skyrim, you're the Dragonborn.
What?
I know.
Anna, come on.
I'm sorry.
I'm still playing.
I still haven't played
you haven't figured that out yet?
I still haven't played the ultimate anniversary special.
Yeah. I know.
Collection edition.
So different.
If you version that they've re-released of this game.
The only way you could play Skyrim and not know that is if you played for less than 30 minutes.
This is true.
Also, they pretty much dropped that one right out the gate.
Yeah, he's like, oh no, I've been roaming around for like 30 minutes. I'm bored.
You're like, Riverwood's really great. I'll just like stay here forever.
It's like, no, I figured that I was about to get my head chopped off, so I just quit.
Yeah, I'm just out. Bye.
Yeah,
I mean, there was some cool stuff with the dragon and just escaping this village, but then they just left me by myself, and these wolves were attacking me, and this bear came out. I was like, this is too much.
Yeah,
and then I got AIDS, and then sorry.
I actually been
vampirism,
getting into
whatever.
I've actually been playing on the Dawn Guard storyline because I never played that before. So
I love the Dawn Guard story. Well, honestly, with Dawn Guard, my favorite thing is just to play up until I can be a vampire lord, and then I just go whatever. I don't care about the rest of the story.
I'm playing as I'm going against the vampires with the Dawn Guard. I'm going to play that story. I'm going to play that storyline out, but then I'm also going to go. I have another character that I'm going to make more of a rogue, and then I'm going to actually, once I start that storyline, I'm going to choose to be a vampire.
I've done. I mean, obviously, I don't know if anyone's ever done everything in Skyrim, but I feel like I've come close. I feel like I've definitely had a character who I was like, just like ruled every underground, group of people, and was the big in charge dude at the college. I can't remember his name now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like I was just everything at one point.
Yeah. I'm a vampire in ESO, Elder Scrolls Online. Which I keep trying to get back into. It's tough because I don't stay with it regularly. So I'm way behind on like the content that's actually available. Greymore is the last thing that I completed, and I just did that. You guys, I don't think play ESO, so you have no idea what I'm talking about. But
I have the game, but I still have not downloaded it on or cracked it open yet.
I played it for like an hour once.
I will one of these days. I think it'd be cool if we all played together. That'd be fun.
I think so. Yeah. So I've done that some. Again, Far Cry 6 is the one that I've been spending the most time with, probably. Also, finally, just went back and replayed Resident Evil 2 Remake. I actually just finished, because I had only finished, what's his name? Leon's part before. And I just finished for the first time Claire's part.
I think I've watched people play basically every Resident Evil game, but I don't know if I could ever play them myself. Because, I mean, you guys know how difficult Dead Space was for me.
Was it challenging for you?
It was a little challenging. Okay. I could only play for like an hour on time because I was so like on it.
We don't watch your stream.
Come on, Hannah, don't lose your head.
So I would love to play some of the Resident Evil games, but I don't know if I can do it.
You got to go out on a limb and try these games out.
Scary.
Yeah. I get it. It's funny, Josh.
Yeah, just go in there, break a leg, go in there, do it.
Enough with the Dead Space puns. Okay. No, I also, and then I actually bought like all of the Resident Evil games recently, except for 1 and 0, which I already have on my Xbox, but I haven't really beaten. They're too long and complicated.
Our big thing.
So Resident Evil 3 Remake, I just finished. And I started Resident Evil 4, which I'd never played at all.
Ooh.
It's interesting. Oh, and when I say all the Resident Evil games, I mean all the numbered ones, not the spin-off ones like Revelations or Operation Raccoon City or whatever the hell.
Our big thing.
Now, there's a movie that's supposed to be coming out soon. Welcome to Raccoon City.
I think it just came out.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be on Netflix for a while, but then I guess it came out in theaters. I haven't heard anything else about it.
I was thinking HBO Max.
Oh,
I think of something else that we need to talk about now.
Yes.
You guys keep going. I'll jump in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just asking about the movie because I was like, I know it came out, but I haven't. I guess it came out in theaters, and now we're just waiting to see where it ends up on the streaming services.
Yeah,
I did want to watch that.
Again, I was thinking it's HBO Max, but I'm not entirely sure because I'm interested in seeing that as well.
Okay, my turn. I was going to ask Josh if he's been keeping up with the casting choices for the live-action Avatar: Last Airbender.
Yes, I have. I got a chance to look at all of them, especially once they announced Iroh, and I'm impressed. I'm skeptical, but I'm impressed so far. I'm like, good job, guys. You casted non-white Asian actors.
I know, right? Crazy.
And native actors for these roles. That's really good.
I'm really excited.
I don't know how that was. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't have done that in the first place, but but you're starting well. And
I'm excited.
And they're taking their time too.
Yeah. I'm excited for the kid. I guess I don't know how old he is actually, but the guy who's playing Zuko. Because he doesn't, I don't know about much of his like acting credits, but I know he's like pretty well awarded like martial artist or something like that. So I'm hoping that like they're finding the right people to be, both ethnically, not ethically, ethnically what we need, and then also like pull off the roles as well.
It is ethical that they're casting ethnic people.
It is. That is for sure.
I haven't been keeping up with the casting choices for that. I did see the Uncle Iroh one, which looks cool. I'm having a hard time keeping consistent with it as everything basically. But I'm working my way through Legend of Korra.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
What season are you on? What book are you in?
I'm still on the first one.
Okay.
So again, it's been slow going.
We were watching it for a while as a family after we finished the original series, but life's been kind of chaos recently. There's been a lot happening, so we have not picked it up since then.
Yeah. Let me know when you get to book 3, Hayden, because that's my favorite one of Korra.
Okay.
I've only watched it once, so I don't have a favorite really.
I like it pretty much so far. I go back and forth on my feelings for and I always forget his name. Starts with a T, right?
Tenzin.
Thank you.
Son?
Yeah. Aang's son. I always forget his name for some reason. Yeah, I go back and forth on how I feel about him. Like
I feel like he grows on you.
Yeah, because sometimes I'm like, I like him. He's pretty cool, and he's like a really good airbender.
I think it's cool because in the original show, you don't really spend a lot of time with adults, right? But Tenzin is very clearly an adult, but he still like kind of grows up and like matures and figures out, you know, his relationships with his family and with Korra as the show goes on. So it's a cool perspective to see like an adult with a family and kids like still trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah, because we were watching, well, at least me and Hannah were kids watching Avatar, and then we became adults when Korra came out, and now we're looking from the perspective of young as you know, teens, and then adults with Korra and her crew, and then Tenzin is, you know, as an adult has to go through all of this, but he's still growing as a person.
Yeah, has to figure out how to be a better father and a better brother when you eventually meet his siblings and stuff like that. So that's cool.
Yeah,
I like him a lot.
Well,
so take a look at the casting for Ozai.
I know.
My friend said that, wow, he's got more chin, that he's got more of a jawline than Ozai did.
Yeah, I feel like
how are they not just doing? They have to do Mark Hamill as Ozai.
No.
Yes.
That would not be ethical.
No.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
That would not be ethical or ethnical.
No.
Exactly.
No, I'm excited. I'm cautiously optimistic is where I'm at right now.
Yeah,
I think that I have faith that they'll do a good job simply because I really hope that they know that if they don't do a good job, they're going to get slaughtered. Like they are going to get so much crap if they don't do a good job. But I'm curious to see, because they can't just copy the original show, but they have to maintain the same spirit. So
it has
it'll
to
be really
the
interesting.
same vein, but they can't have it like
they can just steal the script.
They can't just steal the exact script. And so the question is, how are they going to do that while also keeping the same story beats? And
for some reason, it's not as weird when they're animated. But like, part of me is like, oh, I wonder if they're going to do like a Zutara thing. But I'm like, yeah, but those are like actual children now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's weird now.
Yeah. I mean, they can probably do some like hinting and stuff. Like they can show some innocent, you know, attraction stuff.
Yeah, but I'm like, no, those are actually kids.
I'm betting I'm betting they're gonna have like Jet in an episode. And you know, and in the show, like Katara was like, ooh, Jet.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there's gonna be some like, you know, just some puppy love stuff, you know.
Yeah, which is fine, right? And it makes sense, you know, for a 14-year-old girl to be like, oh my gosh, right? But yeah, it'll just, if they're gonna do like have any sort of romance with these literal children, like they're gonna have to be careful, I think. I guess maybe it was as a kid, I was like, oh yeah, you know, whatever, romance. I like romance. I'm a kid. And now as an adult, I'm like, babies, protect them.
Yeah. Not the children.
I know.
So weird random thing, going back to video games for just a second.
I had a thing I wanted to say, so
shut up.
Whoa.
Okay, well then you're not invited.
Hannah,
Never mind.
Hannah, I'm sorry.
I was gonna invite you to a thing, but it's fine.
I love you, Hannah.
Okay, I love you too. Your hair looks nice.
Thank you. Yours too.
Thank you.
Have either of you played XCOM 2? That's what I'm recently trying to get into.
Nope.
It's a bit older now. Not like old, but like 2016, 2017, I think. Maybe even older. I'm not really sure. I just recently started getting into it. I'm bad at it.
I know nothing about that.
One of those things
About
I'm just
being
like,
bad, that is.
I'm bad.
I was gonna look at getting into Ark Survival.
Oh gosh.
That game
Don't.
feels like that's
What's
a
wrong
Patrick
with
one,
it?
isn't
It's
it?
probably fine.
Don't. No,
What's
you
wrong with
will,
you and Patrick?
you won't have a life again.
What? I mean, I
Where's
already
my
don't have life,
mouse?
so, you
Did
know.
my mouse just die?
I know.
Why? I can't. Well, that's annoying. Okay.
Yeah.
Boo.
Well,
Have to find some
did you say
batteries.
you had something else you wanted to talk about?
Yes, I wanted to say, just on the subject of video games, that the big news in my house right now is we were thinking about getting a VR headset for Christmas. We were thinking about everyone just kind of like contributing and getting it for the family. And then my dad was like, nah, screw that. I'm just going to buy 2 of them on my own for everybody. So we're going to have 2 VR headsets that I didn't have to pay for.
Nice.
So yeah, so we're excited. Hopefully gonna be playing lots of Beat Saber and getting fit.
Yeah.
And I want to have everybody in our kind of friend group over at some point in batches of 2. So I figure you two would make a good batch. And then like have Josh and Laura over one time.
The Bad Batch.
No,
I was
the
gonna
variety
say Bad
batch.
Batch.
Or is this
Wait.
the rule? Is this the rule of 2?
I don't know. My mouse is so dead. What the heck?
Wait, when? Never mind. I'm not going to bring that up while we're recording here.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mysterious.
sorry. Weird thing.
Okay,
It's
I can talk about
thing.
Squid Game now, because there was another thing I was going to say about that I didn't get to.
Yeah.
Which is mostly that, like, I watched Squid Game. It was fabulous. I keep watching like videos on YouTube about people reacting to it or like doing interviews or whatever, and they freaking don't pronounce anyone's name right, like, ever.
They
I'm
probably
so
watched
annoyed.
the English dub.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. Hayden, did you watch the English dub?
No, I
Okay.
watched a little bit of it, and I'm like, I can't do this.
Okay, yeah,
This is
it seemed like it was
awful.
really bad. But
So Hannah,
I
you're
do the
telling me
same.
that Americans started watching a popular Asian led show and they messed up their names?
I'm not trying to be all like hipster, but I legitimately was into like the Korean wave before it was cool. And I've been
Hipster.
learning Korean for like 5 years now.
Yeah. I mean, now that like,
and I'm like, just, it's not a mukbang, it's a mukbang, and that's not how you say that person's name, and it really peeves me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't remember what we were talking about.
We were talking about Squid Game and English people getting the names wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like how anime has become more mainstream, and now everyone are starting to hear these names or starting to talk about it. But people that don't have any like familiarity with it are just saying it, and they're just butchering the names left and right.
I don't know. It just seems like internet creators have the ability to like Google stuff and like learn.
Yes. Yeah.
But they don't, and it makes me upset.
No. Yeah. Well, you should leave an angry comment.
I know, right?
That
Yeah.
always fixes it.
They'll solve everything. All the angry comments.
Yeah.
Do you guys see that they removed the dislike count on YouTube?
I think I did see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it's very interesting.
People are going to stop downvoting our videos.
I see pros and cons to it, because I definitely feel like, especially when I think about like the YouTube rewind and like Justin Bieber songs and stuff, I feel like it's almost like a trend to downvote things. And so I feel like if you don't see that number, people aren't gonna do that unless like they legitimately don't like it. But I also, someone brought up a really good point, which is like, if you're looking for a how-to video and you want to compare like how many people found this useful versus how many didn't, you can't really do that anymore.
Right.
So
yeah. There's some practical things where it could be useful for, like, I guess if there was like an actual bad video, like people can downvote it. You would probably report it first, but I guess some dislikes would help show, don't.
Yeah, and I don't know if the dislikes are like gone on the analytics side of things, like on the back end. I think they might be.
I can't remember how they said they were doing
because
it. There has to be. There's a
because I heard a creator that I follow was saying that like he uses his own dislike to like ratio to kind of get a gauge on like how well something was received, right? But he was saying that he might not be able to do that anymore, so I don't know if people can even see their own number of dislikes and stuff.
We put our videos on YouTube.
I feel like it'll be good.
Yeah, I know, but when's the last time we did that?
Last time we did a video.
Well, I've been putting up some.
Josh has been putting stuff up. Yeah, Josh has been putting stuff up a lot.
Bad let's play footage of me and the Eastern crew doing
I saw that. Yeah.
It's
I get those notifications.
Our dialogue is. I think our dialogue is pretty.
I haven't even been streaming recently because of everything happening. Like nothing's been bad. It's just like I'm basically working 2 jobs now, and I've moved the room that my desk is in. I've moved twice now for various reasons. So I just had a lot going on.
Yeah.
Did you guys see?
You told me Hannah, you said you've moved since Hobbit Day.
Well, I haven't moved, but like I'm in my same house. So okay.
Yeah, but you moved rooms.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is like super public knowledge yet, but Patrick has a new job.
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, he has a new job. It's an hour drive each way, and he's working nights.
Fun.
And 12-hour shifts like 3 times a week.
Ooh.
Yeah, so it's weird. And so my desk was in our bedroom, but I was like, I can't be working while he's trying to sleep in the middle of the day, so we had to swap. So now I'm in the office and his desk is in the bedroom. So yeah. But I haven't like perfected the streaming setup. I don't even have my like legit microphone out, and my green screen like sometimes looks all weird. So I haven't like gotten everything set up to start streaming again, but I want to. And I'm on my last week of school now for teaching one of my jobs. So I'm hoping over Christmas break I'll get to do some streaming. So
cool. I will eventually get to streaming one day.
Yeah, maybe I'll get back to it at some point. Actually,
I
have time. I have time this next week or two. I just don't know what I would stream at this point.
Yeah. I feel bad though, because I have a viewer who was like, "Are you coming back?" And I was like, "Eventually."
I had a couple of viewers like that I really liked because I like having viewers.
Yeah. My only complaint with this particular one is he told me that he is 12. And I'm like, well, now I feel like I can't say anything. Because you're a baby.
Yeah.
But also it was nice to have someone to talk to. So
yeah.
I didn't mention actually, but I think I've said before I brought up this game. I just actually finally started it, To the Moon.
Sounds really familiar.
I feel like you've probably played it before, Hannah.
I don't think I've played it, but I think I've heard of it.
Because it looks like a game that you would have played, but I don't know. It's interesting. I've not played much of it. Yeah. But I don't know why I pulled that up. That's for a later thing. I'm sorry. When we were talking, there was something. No, it was for some reason talking about like the English dubs or stuff made me look up Team 4-Star because they did a My Hero Academia in 5 minutes thing for season 1.
Yeah,
just made me think of that.
Yeah,
I don't understand. I mean, I guess if you've got like dyslexia or like some other sort of reading comprehension thing, I can get why you'd prefer dubbed to subbed. But other than that, I'm like, why?
It depends on how you start to like if someone shows if you get introduced to the show with the sub, then you're gonna watch it, continue with the sub. Like it's hard for me to jump.
Well, and I'm a speed reader, so subs are like nothing to me.
Yeah, same here. I watched My Hero English English dub. So I'm used to that. But I watched Dragon Ball Super, like I watched all of that as so I watched that. Yeah, I watched that subbed.
I guess it is true that I have watched a few things that I've preferred dubbed.
Right, like for me,
but it has to be really good dubbing.
Like My Hero was introduced to me with dub, which is why I do that. It just feels natural to me. And Dragon Ball was weird because Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, I watched dub. I watched dub originally because that's how it was introduced.
Most people did, yeah.
But Dragon Ball Super, I watched subbed.
I think because that was like everyone, it was easy to get your hands on. Everyone was like talking about it because it was so like, oh, it's Dragon Ball's back. We all got to watch it and consume it now, versus having to wait for whenever the dub came out.
Yeah,
I still haven't watched the dub yet.
For me, the one that I always watched dub was Fruits Basket, and I think it's just because I just like the voice actors' voices sounded more like what I had in my head after reading the manga. I think was the main thing, where it was like the Japanese voices, I feel like, I don't know, weren't exactly what I was looking for, I think.
Yeah.
So, but that's the only one I can think of that I was like, no, I want to watch it dubbed. I can't think of anything else.
When Naruto recently watching, again, it's another one kind of, I'm at about the same pace as Korra, and there's a lot more of Naruto than there is Korra.
Oh my God.
That's why I haven't watched it. I'm like, I can't get into that. Same reason I haven't watched Game of Thrones. I'm like, no.
I think you could hang with Game of Thrones, Hannah. Naruto, I think I may try. I may have it on in the background. Like I did that yesterday with the English dub, but I think I may try watching it subbed.
I was gonna say
and see how it is, because I didn't like the dialogue was kind of cringy watching it subbed.
But if you're gonna put it on in the background, it has to be dubbed. Yeah. Because if it's subbed, then you have to pay attention to it.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because you have to be able to read it
this time, because I'm already like, well, this is a lot, but if I'm going to commit, I'm going to watch it like subbed.
Yeah,
I feel like the fairy tale dubbing was pretty decent. Well, and I know I liked it because the person who voices Urza, who's one of the main characters, is the same person who voices Lilith in Borderlands. Ooh. And I was like, it's her voice. I know that lady. So I liked it for that as well.
How are you feeling about Wonderlands?
Wonderlands?
Tiny Tina's Wonderlands.
I know what you're talking about, but I can't remember exactly what you're talking about.
It's the spinoff, the Borderlands spinoff.
Right. But is it? I'm trying to remember like what the gameplay is like. Is it similar? I feel like it's similar.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's more
fantasy, right?
I thought it was, but there's still guns and stuff, but it's definitely from what I can tell, it feels more fantasy.
Well, it seemed like it was almost like an expanded version of Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep.
Yeah,
like the same sort of idea. Yeah. I think I watched a video for it once, like a trailer, and then forgot it existed.
Yeah.
Can I get some plot on one of these shows that you guys are talking about?
No, it's a game.
It's a game.
Oh, it's a game.
It's for Borderlands.
Yeah.
It sounds like it could have been a anime or.
Well, so Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep is Tiny Tina's a character, and she forces like a bunch of the older characters to play D&D with her. And so you're going in as like the D&D character in what's normally sort of a sci-fi game, going and playing against all these fantasy characters, but you still have guns and lasers and stuff.
And you get and they sometimes enlist just other people in the game to like make up quests or be characters.
Be NPCs and stuff like that, yeah.
And so there's like Mr. Torque, who his whole thing is just blowing everything up. And so it's like, okay, I want you to do this mission, and your mission is to blow up the moon.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
And Brick's solution to everything is, I'm gonna punch it.
I punch it.
That sounds like me and some friends have been playing a Rick and Morty style D&D campaign. And y'all know Matt, and that's Matt's character is to chop it with his axe.
I played a D&D campaign.
Sometimes not, but yeah.
Yeah, I played a one-shot recently where we were all birds, or like bird people. And my character was a barbarian goose. And it was so much fun.
Was there a bird person?
We were all bird people.
No, I mean bird person. Was bird person in that one?
No.
Rick and Morty, bird person?
I haven't watched Rick and Morty, you guys.
Not in our game either, as far as I can remember. We're almost done with it.
Patrick and I talked about it, and we're like, both of us are like, we just prefer cartoons that are for kids to ones that are for adults.
That's fair. You're both very childish.
Yeah. I appreciate that about myself, okay? Yeah. So you might get a diss, but I take it as a compliment.
I didn't mean it in a negative way, okay?
Okay.
Tone is everything.
Yeah.
I still love Phineas and Ferb. It was one of my favorite cartoons.
I've never seen it.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I think you would like it, Hayden.
Because the whole thing that makes it brilliant is that every episode's exactly the same, but also not exactly the same. And the ways that it's not exactly the same is where it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's also one of those classic kids cartoons where it's like full of adult jokes and references, but they're just like really subtle. It's really good.
I think the same people. I think Justin Roiland had his hand, and maybe Dan Harmon had their hands in Phineas and Ferb, so you would like the humor and the settings and stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of cartoons people need to watch, though, do either of you know a place other than the most obvious place, which I forgot, to watch Young Justice?
I mean, it's on Netflix, but also probably HBO Max.
No, it's not. It's on HBO Max.
Yeah, that's the most obvious place that I forgot about.
Well, maybe it was on.
But I don't have that.
Maybe it was on Netflix at one point, and then they moved it.
Because I was telling Patrick that he needs to watch it, but I was like, "Oh, we'll find it."
When it was just those first 2 seasons, it was on Netflix for a while.
Yeah.
But HBO Max. It was on DC Universe. Now it's on HBO Max.
Yeah, that's what it was. Because everything that was on DC Universe went to HBO Max.
Yeah, because I feel like. In terms of like kids shows, I feel like it's one of the better ones out there. It's great. And apparently it's still coming out.
Yeah.
What?
I think they're like coming out with new episodes right now as well.
Yeah. They're in season 4.
Yeah.
It's since last season, like season 3, it's become more. Oh, this is for adults now.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of what
they did with some. I mean, I'm sure a kid could watch it, but they did with some, adult themes and.
I feel like it's one of those.
The characters have grown up a good bit.
I feel like it's one of those cartoons that you're just like, it's just a good show. Like it's just well done, and like the characters are good, and the writing is good, and like, I don't know, it's just good.
Yeah.
So, but I haven't seen the new season, and Patrick's never watched an episode. But
no, he's got some homework.
He's got so much homework, but now because he's been working nights, we're like, are we ever going to see each other again? I don't know. Why not?
I'm sorry. Now I'm just thinking of shows that because things keep coming out sooner than I expect. Like Matrix Resurrections is coming out like the 22nd or something. That's like what, like 2 weeks, a little over 2 weeks. And what next week, I think like a week from today or a week from tomorrow is Spider-Man.
I think it's about 10 days from now.
I
think it's the 13th.
The premiere is the 13th. It comes out on the 16th, 17th. Like I'm gonna go. I'm gonna try to go watch it the 16th, that Thursday.
Okay. But yeah, so that's sooner than I kept thinking it was.
Hayden, I think the issue is that we're still living in COVID times and time has no meaning.
That's
And also, we have, adulting things we have to do. So it's hard to chase,
I'm just gonna say y'all are really really aging yourselves as millennials every time you say adulting. Just want you to know.
Okay.
As someone who's like on the cusp.
Okay, Zoomer.
Oh, I'm definitely not a Zoomer, but I'm like right in the middle there.
And then what else? Oh yeah, that's what I was starting to say. That's what I was starting to say.
We have a dog now.
I'm speaking.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. When is The Witcher season 2 coming out? Because I feel
like that's also coming out in December. Yeah.
This month, the end of the month, and Boba Fett.
Book of Boba Fett. That's another one I'm really excited for.
Okay, maybe I was thinking of The Witcher. The Witcher comes out on the
17th. Okay. Yeah, because I knew it was soon-ish, but every time I look on Netflix, I'm like, is it out yet? I feel like it's out.
Right?
And it's like, no, not
today?
yet.
Right.
Today? No?
Did you guys watch the
now?
Did you guys watch the animated
I did.
thing that they came out with?
Yeah.
How was it? I keep meaning to, and I keep forgetting about it.
It was decent. It was like
it
immediately
Vesemir, right?
Vesemir, yeah. I was shocked because I like put it on my my like watch list on Netflix. I was just like, it's a Witcher thing. I want to watch it. And then afterwards realized that it was rated R. And I was like,
oh yeah,
an animated thing is rated R. And then I got into it and I was like, oh, okay, I see. I get it.
Yes, adult animation is
I know.
Thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
honestly,
no, it was solid.
I would not be. I'm not surprised. It's The Witcher. It's hard not to make a Witcher.
For sure. For sure.
Right. I would be appalled if they made it PG-13.
But it was
Could you imagine if they made it rated G?
I mean, I think they could have gotten away with making it PG-13 because I feel like PG-13 allows a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But just like, I mean, within the first 10 minutes of the movie, I was like, there's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
What is happening?
It's The Witcher.
Yeah. That's fun.
Here's your dark fantasy.
Yep. No, but I enjoyed it. I feel like it was cool seeing. So Vesemir is in it, and he's young, and it was cool seeing him and like getting to know some of his backstory because I assume it's all canon.
Yeah.
I assume so because they haven't really explored Vesemir's past before.
No, so it was cool to kind of get some background and some more lore about like this world that they live in. I enjoyed it, and I think it was only like an hour and a half. So like,
yeah, it's
as movies go, it's short, but solid. The animation was great.
Yeah.
So
Sunday morning or cartoon.
Oh yes, that's what I was going to bring up. I was about to talk about it for a second because I just watched part 1 last night and I was like, wait, is there something new with that? So it's like, no, I just had a random craving to watch that movie. I don't know why.
I want to watch the new Ghostbusters movie.
I kind of do. I'm more patient for that one though, for when it comes out somewhere else.
No, for sure. But I'm just like, I just want to know if it's good.
Yeah.
Because it hasn't really been a good Ghostbusters movie since the original.
I was gonna say, like,
I had a good feeling about this one, and
it looks good.
I want to see it, but I haven't I feel like it came out at the wrong time. Like it could have came out a little earlier.
Yeah.
But
again, just cautiously optimistic.
Yeah. I have a good. I still want to see it before it leaves theaters, but I don't know if I'll have that window of time.
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling like I could get to the point where I'm comfortable enough going to theaters if I'm going for like a Thursday matinee or something. Like, I'm going like at 2:00 on a Thursday and not really feel too bad. But
so hey, also another kind of weird quick thing, very out of nowhere, but have you guys watched, and are you into like Blade Runner and like Blade Runner 2049?
Mm-mm.
So I recently rewatched both of those and I really like them. And I bring it up because they just recently started airing a show of it, an anime show on. I've seen it referred to as an anime. I don't know for sure. I haven't done enough research to know if it's anime and they've just recently like dubbed it, or if it's not actually anime, but it's, like animated. So they've done an animated show for it called Blade Runner Black Lotus, which is interesting. So far, I've only watched the first episode. It's interesting.
Anime,
It's interesting if you're interested in Blade Runner.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I
understand. I understand people's reluctance with Blade Runner. It's slow and complicated.
I have no feelings toward it. I know nothing.
Did you ever watch it? I mean, I recommend it. It's a great sci-fi film. Again, you have to be you have to be able to be patient with it though, because again, it's, as I said, it's slow.
Is it a show or is it a movie?
So Black Lotus is a show. That's the newest thing, but there are 2 movies. There was Blade Runner, which that one's complicated just to find like the best version to watch. The most complete version would be the final cut, I guess.
Because if it's a TV show, then I'm okay being relatively patient. I have a strict 3 episodes rule.
Yeah.
Where if I'm not enjoying it by the 3rd episode, then I'm like, nah, I'm done.
So the movie is about an hour and a half. The second movie, 2049, that's like 3 hours.
Okay.
And you definitely got to be patient with that. How do you feel about Ryan Gosling?
Pretty neutral. pretty much I don't have feelings about Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling is pretty good in it. He's in 2049, obviously.
I think that generally people say that he's handsome. That's all I got.
I mean, I thought he was good in it. I don't really.
That's all I know.
I don't really judge him on his attractiveness, honestly.
I want to pick it up because of there's some cultural significance to it, but I'm also like, it's not a I guess attractive sci-fi. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's easy to jump on the Star Wars, easy to jump on some other things, but like Alien, Terminator, but this one's like, it's not as like, you know,
yeah, it's more
grabbing to you, you know.
It's more of like it's more existential. Let's say that.
Yeah.
It's very existential, actually.
I just don't feel like I have room for that in my emotional being right now.
Again, it's just, that's why I'm not someone that would push it. I would be I'm someone that's saying, like, if that's your thing, it's good. But I understand that's not everybody's thing.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I've been like leaning back towards K-dramas recently because the world freaking sucks, and I'm like, I just want stupid, sappy romance comedy in my life. Like, that's just what the energy that I need right now. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to think about like the state of the world more than I have to.
Or just like all these like deep concepts.
Yeah.
Like I watched Midnight Mass like back in October when I was like had strep for a couple of days. I was like, I need something to watch. So it's Halloween, it's spooky season. I'll watch something kind of spooky. And it was you know, disturbing. It was also like makes you think a lot. It's just like I don't want to
think right now.
It's just kind of sad too. It's just like no thanks.
Yeah.
Speaking of seasonal, have either of you watched the new like Home Alone reboot?
No.
No.
Or remake thing? I haven't either. I don't think it's gonna be any good.
I have not heard good things.
Know. I don't know if I've ever seen any Home Alone except the first one, to be honest.
Yeah,
watch the second one.
I've watched all of them except for this one, and
Is Trump in the second one?
Yeah. Man, why would you watch all of it?
I shouldn't have.
You should only watch 1 and 2. That's the only ones that count.
I think the first one I ever watched was 3.
Admittedly, this is
a weird choice.
A sort of interesting thing for me to say. I've been thinking about going back and rewatching the second and third Matrix movies. Because I did not like them as a kid. And when I mean kid, I mean like kid. That was when I mean, the CGI
is bad, especially in the second
thing
one.
Is I feel like it's funny to say this because I feel like they got too complicated and like make you think about stuff, which I didn't appreciate at the time. But I've heard that like the reason they got that way is because the creators were just getting really into like their own lore and stuff. And I'm like, I didn't really watch it with that mindset, and so I kind of want to go back before I see the next one and like go back through it and see like, okay, let me try and understand this universe that they created, because it's been like has to be like 10 years since I've seen either of them.
Yeah,
and you know,
I was meaning to do that as well, but I just gotta find the time.
Yeah,
and you know, the Animatrix is also good to add in there.
I've never seen that.
It's interesting. It's fun. You can I don't know where you can watch it. I have it on DVD actually.
Maybe HBO Max. I feel like they would have that.
I don't have HBO Max.
I keep thinking
I can't pay for more things. I have Disney Plus, and I have like YouTube Premium, and I have like rent, and that's all I can afford. And food.
You have the rent subscription. That's a terrible subscription.
And my cat had a tape worm, so I just
you don't get to watch anything.
I just saw Rent on at the Sanger in New Orleans. It was good.
I'm like trying to figure out what I'm getting everyone for Christmas this year, and I'm like, I don't know. They might get like socks. We might get socks this year.
You get coal. Everybody gets coal.
Yeah. No, it's not coal. Coal's too expensive. Just rocks from the yard.
Really?
Have a rock. I cleaned it for you. There you go.
I just had something to say and I lost.
Well, moving on from that then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been rewatching.
Matrix. I'm sorry. I was gonna mention about the Matrix. Also, I'm kind of bummed. I'm gonna be forever bummed about not getting the original vision for the Matrix. You know what?
Do you mean with Will Smith? Because he was original. Yeah, he was the original person they wanted to cast for Neo.
Well, they also, it's supposed to be. Happen. It's supposed to be a what do you call it? Is it an allegory or is it a metaphor?
Allegory
for a transgender person transitioning.
Yeah, transitioning trans person. Yeah.
Yeah, because Neo was supposed to be a male in the Matrix, and then took the red pill, which would have been like hormones, and then been a female in the real world.
I feel like that was a little bit too controversial for 1999.
It was
right. Or do you mean parallel, Hayden? Because like weren't the creators, aren't they? Trans?
Yeah, they're trans.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. So yeah, good. That would have been. That's definitely a parallel if people wanted to read between the lines, but back then wouldn't have flew.
Which is why I'm like, I would love to see them actually follow through with that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it would be fascinating and we think it'd be really interesting, but I don't know, I love the Matrix the way it is.
Yeah.
I think they will try to touch on that some more, make it a little more I don't want to say heavy-handed, but I think they may find a better way to allude to it in this one. But again, we'll see.
Yeah. I would hope, but I'm not actually gonna get my hopes up about that.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting there, but it might still be a little too controversial for 2021. Just a tiny bit. But I think that we're getting there. Yeah, I don't know if we're talking about like a huge blockbuster movie like The Matrix. Right? I feel like if you're gonna be creating movies that like you really, I don't know, I feel like you have to steer away from anything that's like remotely controversial in order to not get a bunch of crap.
It's also going to get a lot of heat because it's like, oh, you guys are making a reboot, you guys are remaking it, or you guys are continuing it. Well, you should have just left it the trilogy, or you should have just left it the first one. Like, oh, this sucks. Boo. Dislike.
Yeah. Obviously, I'd love to get to a point where people feel free to make, whatever they want, but I'm not totally sure we're there yet.
Yeah. It sucks.
Yeah.
One day.
We'll get there. And I'm really looking forward to it because I feel like there's a lot of like interesting art and stories that like people haven't been able to tell so far, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
Someday.
Well,
this should be the decade.
We could literally talk like all day.
Probably, but I have to go to my second job early.
Yeah. And we've almost done twice the length of our regular episode.
I know, but before we wrap up, is that a tattoo?
That's a tattoo.
I feel like I haven't seen you guys in ages. That's so cool.
It is, right? It's a Harley Quinn tattoo.
That is really awesome. I really like that.
Me too. Thank you.
I still don't know if I'd get a tattoo, but I like
people keep asking me. The first thing that people ask basically is, did it hurt? And my answer, but this is just me, I'm like, nah.
I don't feel like your shoulder, like upper arm, is a particularly sensitive place on your body.
I mean, you definitely feel it because you got like muscles and bone right there.
Yeah.
So you definitely feel it.
Yeah.
But I don't mind it.
I think it looks awesome. I like it.
Yeah, thanks. It looks better, in my opinion. It looks a lot better than the reference that I gave them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's good. I just feel like I haven't seen either of you in person in so long.
Yeah, it's because as much as we're the three, it's much as we're the three that kind of generally see each other most often through this. We also are probably the three that live furthest away from each other.
Pretty much.
Yeah, all together. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Eastman, Marietta, Lawrenceville. Lawrenceville. Yeah.
Yeah. It's about an hour between any of us or more.
Hour plus, yeah.
And I am moving soon though. I'm moving in like a week.
Okay.
Which is why I was asking you guys if if anyone was available like the 14th, and then like everybody said no. I'm like, Well, crap, I don't have anybody to help me move.
The 14th.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
I'm actually semi-available that day, but I don't have a car.
Yeah.
And Patrick has to take the car to Dalton every day, or like 3 days a week. So yeah, I keep committing to things and being like, yeah, I can do that if I have a car.
Yeah.
So
well, I move into Clarkston.
That sounds far away.
It's gonna be like right next to Decatur. It's off of Ponce.
Oh, that's not too bad.
I
mean, it's still a ways away from like you, Hannah, because you're in Marietta.
Yeah.
It's like a different far from
What's your new address going to be, Hayden? You want to mention it while we're recording?
Yeah, while we're recording. Yeah, it's 6328917683
you got your pencil out, Josh?
Hold on, slow down.
Yeah.
Slow down. All right. Do you know what your gate code?
Yeah.
GFY.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If you don't mind sending me a copy of your house key, that'd be great.
Yeah. Same answer.
Last four of your social.
Yeah.
GFY.
Mm-hmm. You really need to like switch that up. You're getting predictable.
Yeah.
You need to do that like randomizer password one.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
GTFO.
Oh, there we go.
Gotcha.
At least that's
I'll never remember that one.
So there you go. All right. Anything else you guys want to mention before we head out?
No, just rewatching all the Spider-Man movies, getting ready for No Way Home.
You gotta watch Squid Game though. And it's great.
I will. I was waiting for the hype to die down.
Remember to build up that hype to see Toby and Andrew in No Way Home for it not to happen.
They're not going to be in there. It's just going to be It's going to be Tom Holland wearing all three spider suits.
You know, and actually, it's actually not even going to be Tom Holland. Even he's not showing up for this one.
Oh my God! It's just the trailers have been lying to us this whole time. He's not coming back.
It stars Zendaya now.
They never recovered his contract.
They're like, Tom Holland, whatever. Zendaya though. Yeah, just
it's actually just gonna be what's his name, Ned. It's just gonna be Ned. He's gonna be the main character, not even a Spider-Man.
I legitimately would watch that movie though, with Ned just be like fumbling around, being like, Peter's out of town and someone's got to cover for him, and we just gotta go.
Grabs the web shooters, grabs the iron spider suit.
He doesn't fit in anything.
Then, well, I guess he could fit in the iron spider suit.
Maybe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just do whatever.
I'd watch that movie.
It's a Disney Plus show in the making.
Yeah, there you go.
It is. Well, speaking of that, I am still excited to see how they end up going with Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm liking it so far.
I am too.
I've watched the first two episodes. I'll probably binge watch the rest of them next Wednesday.
I gotta be honest. I feel like, what's her name? Kate Bishop is the main girl.
Yeah.
She kind of irritates me.
I like her so much.
I like her, but also she irritates me. So I'm hoping that she like matures. It seems like we got a little bit of that in the third episode.
You can appreciate her
naivety.
Naivety.
Yeah.
But also like, okay, you're just making things worse.
Yeah.
Is it like me, Hannah? You like me, but I annoy you.
Yeah, it's pretty similar.
Yeah, you actually don't like me at all.
Same here.
No, I do. But also like,
Hayden, shut up.
Yeah. No, it's good. I miss you guys.
I miss you guys too. I wish I could make the holiday party, but I'm out of town this weekend.
I'm always out of town.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll talk to you guys next time. Hopefully we'll have time to do another episode at some point.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, show.
Thanks, guys, for coming together to do this. It was great catching up with you.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a very unscripted episode.
100% unscripted.
Yes. Yeah. Extra long and just like no topic.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else would be interested to listen to it, but I had fun.
One of you guys just kind of said it as a joke. I thought I interpreted it as a joke, like let's just talk about whatever. Let's just.
I mean, I thought it'd be. I mean, it's just like we don't have a. I don't have any. Like okay. I don't have a script or anything. So yeah, let's just go.
Yeah. All right. So. Well, see you guys.
You gotta say the thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna say.
Okay, you gotta say the thing.
I was gonna say. Okay.
Say it.
Thank you guys for coming and talking with us, and listening. You two for talking, and everyone else for listening. Until next time, nerd out.
Nerd out.